Okay.
Look at this. You have a nice arc around you, like.
I know, it's like a really, it's good for my neck.
Yeah.
See, Kodesh knows I need to stretch my neck a little bit. Okay, morning everybody.
Morning.
As we go through the arc.
Yeah.
I feel like an oscillating fan.
Yeah.
I'll just keep doing this the whole time.
That makes the noise.
You make the noise, I'll do the movement.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so without going into any detail, I'll tell you, I'm pretty confident that without working on Bitachon, I probably wouldn't be here this morning. Can't sure would have been canceled. Or if I would have been here, I would be like very nervous. A lot of things happened this morning. Nothing dangerous, but since last night to this morning, lots of things happened. But we're here and we're happy. Why not? And whatever happens, happens. You prepare a little bit. You prepare a lot. No. Okay. So with that, l'chaim, everybody. So we're in the sugya of Bitachon, how it deals with family and friends. One of the hot topics we're discussing is the social injustices that we think that we face from different people. And we were learning on page 154, 155, 156 about when we deal with family and friends, we have to also trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu that even if they burden us, if we have responsibilities towards them, whatever types of responsibilities, whether it's monetary responsibilities, whether it's teaching responsibilities if we're teaching our children, time responsibilities, focus responsibilities, any of these responsibilities that we have, you have to have bitachon, trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu that He'll help us, He'll save us from them. That doesn't mean He will not give us children, chas v'shalom, so we don't have to teach them. No, he'll save us from the emotional destruction that sometimes we go through when we feel like we have to split our time, split our focus, or get squeezed for another tuition or another. Help me with bitachon. Bitachon is the response to situations in life. It could be good situations as well. Usually we discuss the bad. It's okay. Kodesh Baruch Hu is the one who's running it. It's going to be okay. We trust. We've been through this before. Kodesh Baruch Hu has taken us from when we were little children. It's always for the best. And even in good situations, we have to plug it in. Now, we discussed that there are different feelings that could come out of a person's responsibilities. We were talking about guilty feelings. A person has some guilt based on how he raised maybe his children or how he deals with people. There's that guilt. We discussed the feeling that a person has that if he does, and this is on page 156 in the second paragraph, that a person may feel that if he helps somebody out, he expects repayment, he expects thanks, he expects gratitude, he has certain expectations that one has. And if you go back to 156, just go in the middle paragraph, we'll just read the English right in the middle. He should not do so with the hope that his favors will be repaid to him. You do favors for other people because it's called the mitzvah of chesed, or the mitzvah of tzedakah, or the mitzvah of be a good person, asisa yashar, do that which is straight in the Kodesh Baruch Hu's eyes. That's why you do favors for people, not to get back, not for kickbacks, not for any other ulterior motives. And that's what Bitachon teaches us. The problems we have often, those social injustices that we feel that we're receiving on the lower end, is often because we're not properly seeing the situation. We don't have the bitachon. We feel that these people, I help this guy out, I spend a lot of time with him, or I give money, and then the least he could do is, write me a card, say thank you, call me up, and he's not doing that. What's going on with this guy? 1 second. Where is that coming from? Is that coming from a place where you feel that you're a messenger of a Kodesh Baruch Hu, and he sent you to help this person out? Or it's coming because you think you're the one who decided to help this person? Right? With bitachon, and you look at yourself in the right way, that you're a messenger, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say thank you to you. You don't need other people to. And if they do, that's great. That's their inyan. But to expect the thanks to get repaid from other people, to get love and honor and praise from other people, or to feel like you want to do things for others so you can rule over them, it's totally the antithesis of bitachon. When you trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu, you can live your life happily, you can do your stuff, you can help people, you can run a company, but without all that excessive, that extra stuff. Because you're just a messenger. You really work for somebody else. It's never fun when you're working for a manager. He's just a manager. He's not the CEO, not the CFO. He's a low-level manager of some sort. But he's your boss, and he takes it very seriously, like he's like the boss of like the entire company. Nobody likes that, right? You tell the guy, you're not even the boss. There's a boss above you. What are you being such a... Why are you trying to take rulership over here? But we have to remember, it's the same with us. Sometimes we take rulership over our, what's the word? Not serfs. Our people, our workers, our family. We take rulership over them. We're smarter. We know more. We work harder. We bring the money in. Whatever, yada, yada, yada. We do you favors. All that stuff. But do you remember? You work for Kodesh Baruch Hu. Do you trust that you're just a messenger? With bitachon, everything calms down. So let's go to page 157. Let's go to the last paragraph, 156. Let's just read it straight, and then we're going to go into the new stuff, 157. 156, just English because we learned it once. For a person who performs their requests while having in mind one of the aforementioned selfish reasons, you're going to deal with other people. It doesn't matter if it's your wife, your kids, your friends, family, whoever it may be. If you're going to deal with them for selfish reasons, this person will not achieve his own desires that he expected from them in this world. When you have selfish motivations, selfish expectations, you will never be fully satisfied. It's very rare. He will have toiled for nothing, and he will lose his reward in the world to come. Could you imagine? You spend hundreds, thousands of hours, millions of dollars raising your children, and they don't give you the respect, the honor, and the appreciation that you expect, that you believe they should give you. Right? You have certain expectations. And they grow up, now they're 18, you're waiting for this, now they're leaving the house, you're waiting for like this big thank you, this big party. It doesn't happen. And the person starts to go crazy. Like, I can't believe I raised you, I spent all this money, I spent all this time, and you can't. So Ki'ilu to this person, he just wasted hundreds, thousands of hours, millions of dollars on this useless product. Because if he can't turn around and thank me, then... Now, two things are going on. First of all, did you train the kid properly? That's besides the point. It's between you and a Kodesh Baruch Hu. You're working for the Bar Yolam. He told you to raise this kid. Use your resources to raise the kid. We hope if you raised him properly, he'd have a Kar Satov. And you know what? Maybe if you raised him properly, he won't. Maybe you could raise an Esav. So that's it. We throw away our entire life. We say, my whole life was a waste. You work for Kodesh Baruch Hu. He gives you the stuff to deal with. He gives you the matter. He gives you the money. He gives you the stuff to do. You do your best. You trust in him. You believe in him. You put your efforts in. And then he decides how it goes. So you could still be happy. It doesn't matter what the results are. You could be happy before the results. What does it matter about the results? Right? He decides results. We decide how much bechira, how much emunah, bitachon, and hishtadlus we put in. It's up to him. If we train ourselves now, we'll have a chance when the real nisyonos come. But you can't learn this because again, it's not mental; it's emotional. You can't learn emotions b'shas ma'isa. Ain't happening, right? We have to be working on these things. These things are happening all the time. So if we're going to deal with other people, and it's really anything in life, for selfish reasons, we're not going to be satisfied. And it could be a lot of dissatisfaction, or it could be a little bit, but it's going to be a dissatisfaction again and again and again. My kids don't satisfy, they're not going to bring me nachas with my wife, even my learning, my Rabbi, and nobody makes me happy. Because if you're trying to fit everybody into your selfish box, it's going to be very difficult. But if you have bitachon and a Kodesh Baruch Hu, and Kodesh Baruch Hu is the one who decides, what's good for you. You see how wide my hands are? It's infinity. It's endless. If a person has bitachon, then it doesn't matter how it goes. It's up to him anyway. And it's for the best. So you have your cake and eat it too. The whole world is crying, and you're laughing like Rabbi Akiva. Who's the one who taught us Kol David Rachmana D'Tav Ovid? Who's the Baal Bitachon extraordinaire? Rabbi Akiva. He's the one who could be laughing even when everybody's crying. That's how he lived. He lived with bitachon. That's the koch of Rabbi Akiva. Bitachon. Of course, with Torah, obviously, but it's that bitachon. A lot of tzaddikim who were crying, they also learned a lot of Torah. Rabbi Akiva was laughing. Because kol da'avid rachman d'tav avid. He's always able to see the silver lining. He was always able to see something tov, right? Isn't that the Maisa? He saw the nevuah after the destruction. Like the Maisa of the, who was it? The Choseh Lublin. Rabbi always tells the Maisa of the Choseh and the Nomel Melech. Right? The Choseh saw up until the patch, and the Nomel Melech could see even further than the patch. Right? How far you can see it depends on your bitachon. There's a lot of difficulties in life, but there's always tov at the end. Because the Borei Olam is the one who's running it, if you believe that. So page 157. So in the middle here, this is where we're, the second, I guess this English over here, this is where really we're up to. A person who has these ulterior motives will not receive what he was expecting. It will emerge that he worked hard for no reason. In his own books. Right? In his own books. You could have a person who's kicking and screaming, but in the Kodesh Baruch Hu's eyes, he's still a good guy. He's still Kodesh Baruch Hu, everybody's tough. But in this person's own books, if he's living by his own selfish motivations, then in his own books, he doesn't receive what he's supposed to receive. So he's just in he's a self-cycle of negativity and self-destruction. It will emerge that he worked hard for no reason, and that he won't be even rewarded for his charitable deeds in the world to come. Okay, I don't know, that's harsh. Even though the Choseh says that, and he will lose his reward, he says that, and he will lose his reward in Olam Haba. Harsh statement. We'll leave it as he says it, I'm not going into that. But we see here the word motives. The word motivation is a very powerful word. Right? What is a motivation? If you would define a motivation, when anybody's doing anything, I'm not going to say never, but always, but right, with exceptions always, but it's an inner push to do something. It's the kavanah, right? A motive is a kavanah. It's something in the pneumius. When I'm doing something, you don't see my motivations. You have no idea. Motivations are only in the person's head, right? It's the pneumius advar. When we come to real avoda, kavanah matters. Now, we know that there's a concept, mitzvah shrichas kavanah, there's a big concept, but those who are in the inner world of avoda and chassidus really work on the inner of kavanah more than in other places. Because there's a lot more than just mitzvah shrichas kavanah, that Hashem told me to do this. There's a lot. At the end of the day, it's because Hashem told me to do this. But there's a lot there. It's the pnimis advar, right? When I'm doing an act, the chitzonius, the motivation is the pnimis. It's the kavanas alev, right? So whenever we're working with hishtadlus is some kind of doing. Now it could be it's thinking even, but something that you're activating. The question is that we have to ask ourselves is why? Why am I doing this that I'm doing? Whether it's thinking about something, making phone calls, trying to do, again, right? Doing could even be thinking. Why am I doing this ishtadlus? Why? Why is something that you don't usually ask when you're learning Gemara. Why? That's the halacha. What are the ramifications of the halacha? What are the details of the halacha? But why? That's already. We don't ask such questions. We do, but a lot of people don't. But when it comes to ourselves, it's very, very important to ask why. Why am I doing this? Why am I going to Parnes for 10 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 4 billion hours a year, or whatever, going from 40 to 4 billion, but you understand. Why? What's my motivation? Where's it coming from? If a person wants to properly work on bitachon, in the way that we're learning, he needs to put in the proper motivations. He has to know what his motivations are now, which Sometimes they're elusive because we don't want to admit maybe what our motivations really are. We might think that they're altruistic, but if you keep digging a little bit more, they're not. Like when we do mitzvahs sometimes. Why'd you do that mitzvah? Oh, because I want to do mitzvah chesed. I want to help this person out. Yeah? Well, why didn't you help that guy? Why'd you only help that guy? Well, I don't know. The answer is because this guy could do a favor for you in 5 years, and this guy's not going to be able to do a favor for you. He's a real poor guy. This guy just needs some money right now. I'm making an example, obviously. But it's not so simple. Our motivations are not so shallow. They're deeper than we even think. So, each person on their own. Nobody can ever in a million years judge someone else's motivation. You really have no idea. And we've seen people do really nasty things with really good kavanas. Anybody hear of Yossel the Miser? You got to bring Yossel into the picture, right? Right? You have no idea. This is a personal avoda. This is nobody should ever. Part of Bitachon is never look at anybody else's lane either. Trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu that he'll get what he gets based on his kavanah. Kodesh Baruch Hu will take care of him in the way that he's supposed to be taken care of. You think he's the biggest jerk in the world, and he's still making it. First of all, maybe he's doing good things, or maybe Kodesh Baruch Hu is looking to destroy him. You have no idea. Spend your energy on yourself. That's also part of Bitachon. Spend your energy on yourself. So, what are the motivations? Let's see. Let's read the next two paragraphs. V'im hu noheg bezel avodas elokim bilvad, ya'azrim alokim ligmol oso bolam hazeh, v'yosem b'fiyem shivcho, v'yigdal inyono beineim. However, if his conduct in the above, dealing with family, friends, whoever it is you're dealing with, is solely, and I always like to say S-O-U-L-Y, right? Solely. Cute? No? Nobody's laughing? Okay. It's good. That's how we look at it. Anyway. However, his conduct in the above is solely for the sake of divine service, of Kodesh Hashem. Now, here, listen to what he says. Then Hashem will help them, the people he helped, repay him in this world, and he will place in their mouths, the people that have been helped, this person's praise, and God will make him great in their eyes. If you do what you're supposed to do unselfishly, motivated only by avodas Hashem, right? Ezehu mechubad, hamechabedis acherim. Who's the one that people want to honor? The one who runs away from honor. If you live unselfishly, selflessly, for the sake of Hashem, then don't worry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will reward you, and people will praise you, and you will be honored. What happens if they don't? What happens if you're working on yourself, you're unselfishly motivated, you're selfless, 100%, working on yourself for months, and no one's praising you, like he said. It's starting to bother you. What do you do then?
If it's really selfless, it wouldn't bother you.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. Very good. Right? If you're really selfless, then it should never bother you. So it's a funny thing that he's saying over here, because he's just being nice and telling us what the reward could be, and it's true. Kodesh Baruch Hu does honor those who honor other people and they're unselfishly motivated. But the Maisa, according to the Baal Bitachon, doesn't matter. What do I care if I get reward or not reward? That's not up to me anyway. It's up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. If he wants to honor me, he'll honor me. If not, not. What does it do with me? If a person is selfless, he'll never expect reward. Even if he's promised reward and doesn't get it. Can you imagine? Cool, no? Then you're free of all baggage. You're free of all ties. You could actually just do things for other people in life free. That's a cool thing. To not have ulterior motives when we're doing things. Whether it's for our immediate family, our extended family, or our friends. To be just totally selflessly motivated. Probably only going to happen. Probably. Right? I always like to leave room for exceptions. It's probably only going to happen if you have emunah b'tachon. If you realize that you're working for somebody. Because if you're just trying to be a person who's selfless, people have a certain amount that they can be selfless until they start to be selfish. Like, how much can I give? Once you start saying those things, you're already in the danger zone. How much can I give to this person? How selfless can I be? That's already selfishly selfless. So you have to put the motivation has to be, what's the motivation? This is the Ratzon Hashem. I'm a messenger of a Kodesh Baruch. That has to be the motivation. It can't be motiveless. I have no ulterior motives. I'm just doing this because it's the right thing to do. That could last for a long time, but at a certain point, a person's going to break. It's the right thing to do. If you keep coming in second again and again and again, or last place again and again and again, we're human beings here. Now, even if you plug in a Kodesh Baruch Hu, we're still human beings. We'll have the feelings. That's okay, though. It's part of the process. But we need to have an inner motivation, a kavana. Lama. Why? Ma is what did you do? Lima. To what? For what? Why did you do what you did? And don't just say, because I'm a good guy. Again, that lasts so long. We have to drink, download, bitachon. There really, really is a Borei Olam. He really, really sent me into this world with everything that I have. He really, really wants the best for me. And he sends me on all these missions. And sometimes I enjoy the mission. Sometimes I don't enjoy the mission. But I want to work on enjoying everything. And just being happy with everything he sends me. As best as we can. Sounds like a utopian, society. But it is. Could you imagine, if you actually lived with God, wouldn't that be perfect? Again, he always is going to test us. He's always going to, as a Baal Shem, he's going to remove our level of bitachon. The main test of people, and we'll speak to the Baal bitachon, those who are working on bitachon, the way a Kodesh Baruch Hu tests a person is by removing their bitachon. That is the way he tests. It could be money, family, refuahs. It doesn't matter. Because with bitachon, you can handle anything. It doesn't matter what it is. We trust. So for those who understand, those who learned the sugya for a long time, can understand. The way that a Kodesh Baruch Hu tests a person is by removing his bitachon. So it doesn't matter if it's you tripped over a skateboard, if one guy gave you $1 less than he's supposed to, if you get that bitachon removed, you're going to lose yourself. So that's what the Baal Shem says, and we've said this over and we'll keep saying it again. The first thing a person should daven for, when he's going through any type of nisayon, when he's starting to feel tested, emotionally, mentally, whatever, is Kodesh Baruch Hu, it's you. Please help me regain, work on, strengthen my bitachon in you. Because that's the tikkun kloli of everything. Right? Again, we know, I'll say it again, bitachon does not equal money falling from trees. Bitachon doesn't mean miracles. That's not what bitachon means. Bitachon, according to the Chovos HaLevavos, Shaar Habitachon, right, means being able to handle any situation in life in a calm, tranquil manner as much as possible, because we believe and trust that the Kodesh Baruch Hu is the one who is doing it. He has our best interest in mind. He knows more than us. All the 7 qualities. So if you have that, you could be calm. Whether he sends you the money or doesn't send you the money, that's his choice. We ask him to. We said, Kodesh Baruch Hu, according to the way I see the world, it would be nice if I get the money, I get the deal, I get this refuah, I get this. But I trust you that you know better. So I'm going to ask you, because I believe you're the God and you want me to ask you. But you decide ultimately what's going to happen. I can't force anything in this world. So this becomes the inner motivation of everything we do, whether it's Gashmias or Ruchnias, is I'm doing the Ratzon Hashem because I trust. So we have to do what's doing called in our sugya. What's doing called Ishtadlus. Ishtadlus. Whether it's opening up a sefer to learn is Ishtadlus. Whether going to the store to buy is Ishtadlus. Going to work is Ishtadlus. Going to the doctor, everything's Ishtadlus, doing. But what's the inner motivation? Selfless avodas Hashem, which comes from Emunah, and it comes, of course, with bitachon. And then whatever the results are, if you do it right, you have Emunah, I believe in God. Therefore, my inner motivation of everything is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I want to do the Ratzon Hashem. Hashem wants me to go to work. Hashem wants me to do this. He wants me to learn. So I go do Ishtadlus. Emunah, top. Inner motivation of doing the Ratzon Hashem, second. That's the pinimis. Now Hishtalis, I'm now doing. Now however it goes throughout the day, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon after that works over, 7, 8, 9, Bitachon is, okay, good. I did what I'm supposed to do. No matter how it looked in the Chitzonius. Right? If you have this program in place, we'll be protected. We'll have protected ourselves from so much heartache, so much craziness, so much frustration, anger, dealing with people even. Right? I think. And just to get back to our story from this paragraph here, is that when the Shaar Habitachon is teaching us about the praise, the reward that a person will get, I just want to plug something else in. So we answered. Avi said, if you're truly, truly selfless, you'll never expect even the reward that the Shaar Habitachon is telling you about. But that could also be difficult. So what we could plug in also, I'm just giving people things to think about. Is it possible that a person gets a reward for something he did good? That could increase his ego? Is that possible?
Sure.
Could it be that if he gets a lot of money, it could increase taiva? Is that possible? It's possible. Possible. Therefore, once it's possible, and we admit to that, if we don't receive that which we wanted, which is the money or the praise, maybe because the Kodesh Baruch Hu decided I'm not ready for that yet, because maybe it'll make me into a egomaniac or a Baal Taiva or the million other options. And when it comes to a Kodesh Baruch Hu, it comes to Bitachon, everything we know is the best. We're humans though, so it's hard to just say, okay, it's for the best, I'll move on. We're humans. We need to think. We think. So if we could, but we have things we could plug in. Again, maybes. Maybe it's because this will hurt me. How will it hurt me? Maybe it'll make me an egomaniac. Maybe it'll make me buy a bigger house, which Kadosh Baruch Hu knows is going to be more insurance and more stuff. Is going to make me stressed out and have to take me away from my bitachon that I've been working on. So you worked on bitachon, you're calm. Kadosh Baruch Hu sends you a lot of money. You're like, oh, a lot of money. Let me go buy a bigger house, and that bigger house stresses you out, and it takes you out of your bitachon that you just worked on. That'll be insanity. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says, you're not ready yet. Is that okay? You worked in bitachon, you're happy. I want to keep you there for a little bit longer. Keep working on yourself. It's okay. I was giving a shiur once in it was really, I think it was Reish Pei Beis, Zamra, Dan Kafschos, Rabbi Nachman's famous Nekuda Tova, the longer sugya. But it was years ago, and I think we were probably going to be talking then also. So I came out that the ikr, the pnimius, the shorish of all Dan Kafschos, to judge somebody favorably, right? It's a bigger sugya in halacha and agada. The most important of all time, I don't think there's an exception, Dan Kafschos, is judge a Kodesh Baruch Hu favorably. So whatever happens to your life or in the world, if you have a munah, it came from a Kodesh Baruch Hu. He's the one who did it, right? You're dealing with Dan Kafschos, you see a person do something, you have to judge him favorably. So if you're something in your life, you have a munah, and you're dealing with something in life, personally, worldly, whatever it is, you believe HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing it. Dan in Kafschos. Find the Nekuda Tova, and that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing. Habitachon. Your life will forever be happy. Another way of saying it, in a more like raw way of saying it, give a Kodesh Baruch Hu, make excuses for a Kodesh Baruch Hu. I don't want to say it that way, really. It's true, but he has all the excuses. He has a million excuses for why he did what he did, but they're actually real. I like the Dan Kafschos, the Nekuda Tova way better. If this becomes your operating system, you'll do what you have to do in life. You'll be happy. All the things that are thrown your way, or most of them, will just brush right off. Whatever it is. You could be happy with your wife and your kids and your work and your learning and your... No, if you really download this system, it's kedai. You know how to work on it a little bit? Instead, we'll try like a million other things when we could just do the one thing. I think. Yeah. Let's read one more paragraph. 157, I'll finish this up. יגיע גמול הגדול בעולם הבא, כמו שאמר אלוקים לשלמה, וגם אשר לא שאלת נשאתי לך, גם עושר, גם כבוד. Additionally, he will also arrive at his great reward in the world to come, as God has said to Shlomo, and I have also given you that which you have not asked, both riches and honor. So they explain, when Shlomo HaMelech was first crowned, the king after David passed on, he offered a prayer to Hashem, asking for an understanding heart with which to rule over the people. I think even a Kodesh Baruch Hu offered him. I don't know the psukim. I think a Kodesh Baruch Hu offered him, what would you like? Riches, this, that. What? Yeah, is that what he says? I think he asked Shlomo Melech, what would you like? Would you like riches? You want to be the smartest or something? Shlomo Melech answers, I want a leiv lahavin. I want an understanding heart with which to rule over the people. And Hashem responded, so he was selfless. He was... What?
It was last week's after.
Was it? Oh boy, it's embarrassing. Okay, thank you. Anyway, I'll check that out. God responded by telling him... Wait, last week's Haftarah was
the baby, yeah. That was the...
Yeah.
Alright. God responded by telling him that since he did not ask for long life, wealth, and honor, what he was offered, long life, wealth, and honor, he did not ask for that, or the like, he would be rewarded with wealth and honor as well. Kodesh Baruch Hu gave him everything. An understanding heart, and wealth and honor. And we know that Shlomo Melech, that was the greatest period of time, almost, for Klal Yisrael, 400 years. I mean, first base on Mikdash, Shlomo Melech, we were the richest, the strongest. This verse is cited as proof that when a person does good with the motive of gaining materially, God doesn't fulfill his wishes. However, when he does so with the right motives, God will reward him with material good as well. If our motivations are selfish, sometimes even if you are asking for money, you selfishly believe you deserve it, so you get the money. But if your inner motivation is selfish, it won't be enough money.
Well, then you wouldn't have gotten the money.
No, see, you could get the money. See, that's the thing. You really could get the. Sometimes you could have a bad guy getting money, but he'll never be satisfied with it, because what's his inner motivation? Not just money.
It's a little different than what he's talking about, though. I think he's saying though that the person who has bad motivations won't get it.
So that's the Pashut reading, of course. But I like to give exceptions for sometimes you see people who had bad motivations. It's rare, but you see it. Unfortunately, that's usually what's thrown in our face. Those guys who probably had bad motivations, probably because you don't know, and they're getting. So what do you say over here? So it has to be a little bit deeper, I think, to help out, to be honest, is that they didn't really get what they wanted. They're never really satisfied. Even if it's the money, they want more than the money. They want the honor. They want the constant praise.
Or it's your perspective that they did get a reward, but it's not good for them, like you said.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fine. So maybe one more thing. I jotted me down this morning, but I really didn't have time to even really look at it. 1 second. Okay, so maybe this will help, maybe this won't help. It's a I guess the kind of way of thinking. I hope it makes sense. Let's see. Let's go 4 steps. Right? We're talking about the inner motivations. I am where I am who I am, because Kodesh Baruch Hu said that's where I should be and that's who I am. That's number 1. Number 2. He asked him what you want. Okay, but he didn't give him options. He just said, "What do you want?"
What do you want?
Right, and he answers, "Leiv Lavin." What's the legend? I think. The heart to be with. Okay, fine.
Should start a Tanakh Labura.
We should. So I am who I am where I am, because Emunah, Kodesh Baruch Hu decided.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're in it.
To judge the people properly, Torah.
That's it.
That's it. He was unselfish in motive. He wasn't looking for money. He wasn't looking for. He just wanted to help other people.
Yeah.
Was it? So you got your cake and you eat it too when you want to help others. Truly. So number 2 is, I think. We think about things in life. We think about doing. We think because the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants me to think. We have this. This could take time to download, but this is we're purifying the motivations. Again, I am where I am. I am all that I am statements because Hashem said, Baruch Sha'amar, V'haya Olam, but Sha'ani Kisha'ani. I think about Parnasa, I think about Ruchnius, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu allows and wants me to think about these things. That's already Hishtadlis, thinking. So once you're already doing Hishtadlis, what's your motivation? You never think about this. But even thinking is a type of Hishtadlis. Even that needs an inner motivation. So we go back to, I am because Hashem said I am. It's the Ratzon Hashem. Always go back to that. Then you say, not only thinking, I think to do. Right? You're thinking now, what am I going to do? Gash Ruchnis. Why? Because Hashem allows me and wants me to think about things I'm going to do. Why am I thinking about what to do? Because, number 1, I am because Hashem made me who I am, and therefore He wants me to think to do these things in life, whatever it is. And now the 4th step is, I do. I'm doing the Hishtadlis now that I thought about doing because I was thinking, because I am. Why am I doing? It's the same inner motivation from the beginning. Because Hashem wants me to. How did I get to doing this thing because Hashem wants me to? Because I thought about doing this thing because the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants me to. Because I think because Hashem wants me to. Because I am who I am, where I am, with my characteristics, with my brain, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu decided. And so our whole life is just, we're trying our best to align ourselves with the Ratzon Hashem. All the way back from the beginning. But if we start only at the Maisa, the bottom, if that's where you're starting, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to Maisa. It's going to be hard to properly align ourselves to the motivation. We have to start from the beginning. And it's just a mental exercise.
Where did the thought come from? The thought came from Hashem.
Exactly. That kind of thinking is a person who's living with bitachon, living with emunah. That's how we start to think. And some thoughts we go with, and some thoughts he doesn't want me to go with. A person has a thought of a taiva. Where did that thought come from? Well, the honest answer is it came from Kodesh Baruch Hu. But not to engage in the taiva, to test me. Don't engage in that thought right now. That makes me stronger. Right? This is the way, if we can download this, slowly but surely, you can't really lose. Again, until the Kodesh Baruch Hu pulls the bitachon away from you. But this, even bitachon, is all hishtadlis. But all hishtadlis, am I going too much here? All hishtadlis has to be built on inner motivations if I want to do the Ratzon Hashem. I think we should end here. I think it's too much. But if we think like this, things start to open up. Bitachon doesn't just happen. You want it, you're trying to connect to Kodesh Baruch Hu, you want it because He wants it,